What's going on, y'all? It's your boy June Archer here. The winner circle on thisis50.com. This interview should have happened a long time ago. This is a long time coming. This brother right here, man, has inspired me from the moment I had the opportunity to meet him. He has made strides to be the best that he can be in his field, and as a practitioner of his field, he has done it kind of unorthodox. But I can tell you this, he has put his footprint and his name in the game. Please welcome to the show the host of This Nation, the host of the Morning Hustle Show, 1/3 of the Bodega brothers, my brother, HeadKrack. Welcome to the show, brother.
What up, June? Peace and love, baby. How you doing?
Man, listen, we woke up this morning, there's nothing to complain about, and I have the opportunity to sit down with you for a few minutes, man, to just shoot the breeze, catch up, and inspire people who are watching and listening. I want to start out by saying, man, congratulations, giving you your flowers. You managed to create a brand, man, that is so strong, man, for the culture, interviewing and doing what you're doing and making that transition and pivot from an artist and host. How have you been through this pandemic over the past year and a half, man, and your ability to not only navigate it, but pivot, being able to just kind of distribute the ball and all the things that you've been doing?
I feel like I treated the pandemic like, being in a huddle. Or even, in between rounds in a fight, you go to your corner, trainers putting stuff in your ears. So, when you relate it to what I do, there's your manager, or, maybe you have, different creatives that you work with. And, we took this time to set up some ducks that we was going to line up. So once we were back outside, we kind of hit the ground running. Was doing a lot more interviews, not only interviewing people, but doing interviews with, personalities and hosts like yourself. And then also working on more content to put out there into the marketplace. So, I was spending a lot of time editing videos and just trying to figure out, all right, once everybody's back outside safely, what can we do to present a cool experience or a series of experiences that the people would show up for? So the difficult part is the fact, because I do so many things, it's like, all right, so for 2 days I'm wearing this hat, then for this day, all right, cool, now let's write this movie. Then the next day after that, it's like, all right, cool, who we gonna talk to next week, for our AfterHours platform? So it was more work during the pandemic actually than it was when we was out moving around free, because people be like, oh, you at the crib doing nothing, huh? Okay, we got something for you. So I just treated it like a strong huddle and just we fortified ourselves.
And you've been a renaissance man, to say the least, man. Let people know, how were you able to land the gig on This Nation? Because for some people, luck. You came out of nowhere, but not realizing, you were an artist. You Bodega brothers, take us through how that opportunity and that blessing happened for you.
Got you. So, a lot of times, it's almost like a Tarantino film. Sometimes people see the end at the beginning at the end, the middle and the second half, whatever, right? So music was always the first thing. And it was the fact that I would rhyme and freestyle and just pop up at any thing that was remotely resembling a hip hop event to get in the eyes of people. So that allowed me to meet the people that I needed to meet, that eventually got me on the radio, or was able to vouch for me, oh, that's that guy, you should put him on the radio. You'd be great as the nighttime host. So those ducks got connected through rapping. Then you fast forward, me, my man Kino, who's also part of the Bodega Brothers, and along with Super K, we was doing a night show that was going swimmingly well. They take me for the night show. They put me with Ricky in the morning. We formed the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, and we build that up. Next thing you know, that show is syndicated. Then they relocate us from Dallas to Atlanta. And then once we got to Atlanta, started picking up more markets, this TV opportunity comes around first it was called The Daily Dish. I still have the pilot disc of it. So initially it was called The Daily Dish. We shot a pilot episode. They loved it. Fox was like, yo, let's do a summer run with it. We shot I think 30 episodes that first summer. And then we was chilling for a while. Then they came back and said, yo, we want to pick this show up and turn it into a nationally syndicated thing. But that would have never came together if it wasn't for Rock T, who was also a member of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, who connected the dots, because like somehow somebody he knew reached out to him, and then he brought the opportunity to the table, and everybody on the show felt like it was a good idea. Like, hey, you can hear us on the radio, but when people get to see you, it makes it more, you know, 4-dimensional, you know?
Now, Ricky Smiley is a legend in the comedy game, and movies, radio. How was it working with him, and what were some of the things that you picked up from him as a veteran that you used to kind of get that swag? Because you went from 0 to 60, and then from 60 to 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely amplified the amount of ears and eyes that, you know, I had on what I was going on the radio space, because, you know, so many people knew his name and, you know, revered him as such a, you know, oh, I love his prank phone calls. I love Bernice Jenkins, Lil Daryl and whatnot. Right. So the dope thing that you learn about working with a comedian, like everything's not funny to him every day, you know? So,
Right.
you know, he has so many multiple sides. There's the activism side. There's the, you know, the humanitarian, the charitable side, and then there's the silly side, the side that wants to just go out, take his boat out. He's a boater. He loves boating more than anything in the world. So working with him for as long as I did, you know, showed, you know, that you could have multiple dimensions to what you do. With, you know, because like, you know, I always felt like I'm the hip hop guy, but then as time went by, I realized, yo, I'm actually more than a hip hop guy. I'm the hip hop guy that likes boxing. I'm the hip hop guy that likes video games. I'm the hip hop guy that collects Transformers. I'm the hip hop guy that, you know, also wants to do charitable things and help the youth, because there was people who came through my life and helped me out, and there was chance encounters that I had that, you know, made me hold my chin up higher. Like, you know, the very first famous person I ever met, Mookie Wilson from the Mets, came so I used to live at Tracy Towers in the Bronx, and he came to DeWitt Clinton one day for this. They used to have this summer program. I wasn't supposed to be in it. Parents didn't pay for me to go, but we would just go and like just sneak ourselves in there and act like we were supposed to be there. So when we heard Mookie Wilson was going to be there, I came through. I didn't even have a Mets hat, but I had a Bill Blass hat that was my dad's, and I took it and he signed it, and it was just cool. And the fact that he was so cool to me was like, you know, it instilled in me that anytime you have an encounter with somebody, always make it a memorable one, because you just never know what that'll do for them in the long run. You know what I mean? Because like, you know, you hear these stories all the time. Like, yo, I ran into such and such at the mall. He was rude, or she was real nasty to me and my kids. When, you know, like, you know, you never want to like create that experience for them. So that just, you know, it put that in me and just showed me, hey, like always create a positive experience and just continue to learn from everything.
With all that, you dropped a few gems in it. I wanted to address. You talk about chance encounters. Some people call them blessings. And people have chance encounters along their journey, but never really capitalize or pay attention. How can somebody pay attention and understand that a chance encounter is an opportunity to, one, network, level up, learn something, better themselves? You just talked about a chance encounter that you took and you ran with it. You planted a seed somewhere along the way to create a dream for yourself that would manifest. How important are those chance encounters, and what can people do to recognize those situations or those moments?
I think because we move so fast as people, I think if we spend more time and slow down and just look at the signs around us, we'll notice the synchronicity of things, why certain things keep happening, why certain numbers keep reoccurring, why certain doors will keep opening for you and these things will keep happening. Because even when I was young, I didn't really, when I was the age I was when I met Mookie Wilson, all I knew is I wanted to be Michael Jackson's friend. I was that young. I was like, yo, I don't know what I would be when I grow up, but like, I want Michael Jackson to be my homeboy. I don't know exactly like how I work into that whole dynamic, but like, I know the choreography from Thriller. I could dance. I could beatbox a little bit, and I want to be Michael Jackson's friend. That's just all I knew, right? But as time went by, I started like, you know, picking up these really weird habits. Like I would watch Entertainment Tonight for no reason, because I didn't identify or relate to any of these people that were on the show, but just I was pulled to it. Something told me to watch this show, and I always knew like right before the show was about to go off, because they would do that silhouette. Guess what celebrity's birthday is? You know, that they would come back and tell you after the commercial break. Like I watched it religiously every night, and then when you fast forward later on in life, I'm doing an entertainment news show that is, you know, comparable to Entertainment Tonight. I mean, they're OGs in the game, but it was they were training, those opportunities. It was all preparation for the future. And I may have not personally have known it, but my higher self, my spirit knew that I needed to know these things. I needed to be able to be in a position where I could walk into any room and have a conversation with anybody about anything, no matter where we were from. And that's kind of been my thing my whole life. The only thing I kind of hit a brick wall on is sports that aren't boxing. If you talk to me about, like, I watched the Knicks game the other night because, like, I'm a diehard Knicks fan, but it's also like being a sadomasochist because you just kind of know what the end result's going to be. I watched the Knicks game for the first time in a long time because we was in the playoffs. I didn't recognize none of them people.
Me either, and I'm not even a Knicks fan. So I'm with you on that one. I love what you said, man, because for you with Entertainment Tonight, that was Star Search for me. And then you start to see the trajectory. And you know, Malcolm Gladwell talks about 10,000 hours and what it takes to master your craft. You talk about that show. You talk about being a lover for hip hop. For someone who is trying to accomplish anything, it doesn't even have to be entertainment. How important is it? You talked about research. You talked about watching it. You talked about studying it. You're watching it late night, right? And putting you on this trajectory. You even talk about a synchronicity. These are buzzwords, but how does one, HeadKrack, put all these things together to be able to find out what they're passionate about or what they can do as a career that will sustain them, right? Because you put a lot of gems in there. But does one just watch David Letterman or watch Jimmy Fallon? What else does someone need to do in order to be the best that they can be with whatever it is that they want to pick up and achieve?
I mean, I think study whoever the best is in whatever that particular field that you're aspiring to be in, and looking at their habits, seeing how those habits that person has relates with yours. And sometimes you don't necessarily know what people do when they get off the air or what they do when they're not doing whatever that thing that they're passionate about. But look at the things that make them great as much as you can identify. And then you got to just start putting in that work. Even from a manifestation standpoint, a lot of times people blow the opportunity to positively manifest because they are trying to manifest money as opposed to manifesting the opportunity that
and block their
lead.
blessings.
Yeah,
block their blessings in that fashion.
Absolutely. Like, you got to manifest the opportunities that will later on bring you the riches, because, you know, I think, you know, the energy of the universe, the way it operates, man, everybody's asking for the same thing. So you got to kind of like streamline it a little bit more, because, like, you know, you wish for money, you lift up your couch cushion. Oh, there's a nickel. You know what I'm saying? There's your money you was asking for. But nah, you got to manifest opportunities. And then sometimes just like sit in stillness and try your best to just listen to yourself and listen to your inner monologue and figure out what it is that you truly want. Because it's those moments of silence where you really have the most clarity. You know, I try as best as I can to create moments where like no one is talking to me or I don't have to talk to anybody, because, you know, sometimes as people, we give so much energy to the world, whether it's your job, whether it's your children, whether it's your friends, whether it's social media, and you don't even know what you think. Right. Anymore, because you know, you're just so afraid from just dealing with the energy and the request of others. So, you know, I try to create as much space, and I call myself trying to meditate more. It doesn't always work the way I want it to. Sometimes I meditate when I go to sleep, which is not the best way to meditate, because you would just go to sleep. But if you could just create them little pockets of time during the day to where you just like shut the whole world down, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if you can make it, and then just listen to yourself, and you'll start becoming a lot more stronger with not only your intuition, but also the clarity in your thoughts and the ideas that you're trying to present, but also your manifestation. And then like you'll get to the point to where you'll start feeling this tingle in the middle of your forehead when you're getting really good at it. That's your pineal gland getting stimulated and your third eye opening up. And, you know, and then you really start becoming a master of all these different frequencies that are around you and all these things that you can do from within that, you know, you thought you had to, I don't know, go out the country to, you know, to get going for yourself.
How important is networking for any industry, but for what we do? People are trying to break in, they're trying to figure out how to get to the next level, who can help them. They're looking for mentors, looking for a guru. Networking is a essential part of what we do. How important is networking, and how were you able to tap into understanding how important, how powerful networking is?
I mean, I think I was networking before I even really truly knew what networking was. Cause you always feel like, hey, you need to have friends in high and low places just so you can just know what's going on. Networking is always important, but follow up with the people that you network with is probably more important than even meeting the person. You know what I mean? Because we meet people every day, but do we follow up? Do we only hit people up when we want something? Or are we really truly, forging solid, ubiquitous relationships with people that are beneficial to both people in the networking scenario? Because, there's some people who only hit me when they need something. And there's some people who, sadly enough, I don't hit because I don't want to hit them because I feel like I'm only hitting them when I need something. So follow up is key. And also really and when I say work it, make it work for you. Make it work for each other. Because, a lot of times people come in with this, hey, what can you do for me? But it's like everybody needs help on some level. So if we're in a position where we can help each other out, it's more of a even flow going back and forth. And I think that just makes more beneficial networking based relationships.
I can't help but notice, because I'm a vocabulary person. Your vocabulary is very exquisite, it's extensive. Are you a reader? And if you are, what is the last or the most current thing that you've read that you could share with our viewers and listeners today?
Well, I used to read a lot more, because of phones and audio books. The time I used to spend in the bathroom reading now goes to checking social media. Like I be playing games on my phone where you got to like level up your bases and stuff like that. I take the time to do all that during then. But I do listen to a lot of audiobooks and a lot of like documentaries on YouTube and whatnot, and podcasts as well. But my commutes are so short, I don't really have a lot of time to like consume it as I used to. But I think the most last interesting thing that I tapped into, I was listening to something yesterday, and it was talking about how, okay, I listened to two things. One was about why the universe erases your memories. This is if you believe in reincarnation. I am not 1,000% sure where I am at on this. I know there are people who have been here before. This I know. So maybe I do believe in reincarnation, right? But the question was, why do your memories get erased and you don't remember who you were in a previous life? And it was breaking it down. We're like, well, listen, just imagine if you took all that baggage from your previous life with you into this new life, whether it was good or bad, it could get confusing to every level of your consciousness, because you're thinking about people from your previous, your previous physical experience, and you're trying to integrate and have a new living experience, and it can become cluttered, and your soul's trying to process it all. So I found that to be an interesting take on why that is, because I know sometimes there's a lot of people that have glimpses of who or what they were in previous lives. And I always find that intriguing. I haven't personally had that experience. And I even went and did a quantum hypnotherapy session with a guy. And when I like tapped in with my higher self, one of my questions was, have I been here before? And my higher self was like, nah, it's your first lap. So I found that to be intriguing because I totally thought I'd been here before, but apparently not. So we learn things all the time. And, and I know like even reading is the most traditional way to like absorb information, but, just with my time and space, I just have to like get it where I can. But the last actual book I read was Man on the Moon. It's a autobiography. It's the biography of Andy Kaufman, who was a comedian. He was on Taxi, and he was a brilliant mind. What he did, he just got so bored with what he was doing that he created a whole nother personality and worked it so well that people thought that Andy Kaufman was different than this other guy, Tony Clifton. They thought Tony Clifton was a whole nother dude, and Andy Kaufman was both of them. Which, when you fast forward and apply this to hip hop, and you look at Humpty Hump and Shock G,
right, rest in peace.
That's where you can see where the seeds of creativity were planted, and where like he was possibly inspired from. So, and like, he passed away of cancer, but he was so elaborate with the things he did. Every year they was like, is this the year he's gonna come back out? Because they thought he faked his death too, because he was just that thorough with everything he did in his presentation.
Man, that's dope. That's dope. You've been interviewing people and you've been on radio for some time now. who has been one of your favorite people to interview?
I always like interviewing 50 Cent because he gives you a lot. He's fun. I also I really enjoy interviewing people who are, and it works both ways. I like interviewing people who are like new to the game,
Mm-hmm.
in they first lap, because one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to get the people that don't have any PR training and they will tell you everything. They will tell you like, yeah, so I got started rapping because, I was just tired of killing people. Like they will give you everything that they probably shouldn't be telling you. Like brutally honest.
No artist development ever. Like they just giving it to you raw and uncut.
Raw and uncut. Then you also get people that's also in that same flow who they needed some PR development. They needed to learn how to do interviews with people because they're giving you one-word answers, dead end things, and they're not really willing to put in work, and maybe it's too early for them to be doing an interview. So I hate those. But then also, too, when you get those people that are super polished and been doing this for a long time, like, we get to talk to the Ushers of the world who've been doing this since they were a kid. They are so, like, blindfolded ninja with their answers, because even when you're trying to walk them into something, they've been doing this for so long, they know how to deflect and keep it pushing, but still do it with a smile.
Who has been the sexiest woman that you've interviewed?
Sexiest woman I interviewed, man, there's quite a few of those. Regina Hall, Sanaa Lathan, Danny Lay, and Maya.
Has there been a gentleman, a dude who you interviewed and you're like, man, I wish I could be good friends with this person. I could see myself, like, me and this person could like really be like cool. Like we could walk into a club and when the theme music comes on, like we look like the dynamic duo. Like, has there been a man that you kind of was like, yo, I really connect with this individual?
There's been a few people actually as of recent, like, we just talked to Tusi not too long ago, and I never like had a conversation with Tusi a day in my life, and really just started getting like even more familiar with his music as his new project dropped. And he was just so cool and down to earth that I'm like, yo, I really rock with this kid. He's from upstate New York, but then he moved to the Carolinas, probably about 10 years back. But he's having quite a wave right now, and really a cool guy, and I really vibe with him. But also, oddly enough, back when I was still doing Ricky's show, we interviewed Kanye West. And Kanye West was so cool. And interestingly enough, no matter who would ask the question, he would only look at me when he talked, which was weird. But it was just like, maybe he just respected what I do and knew that I was the hip hop voice in the room. So we just kind of locked in that way. But I like being around other creatives, and with Kanye West being such a creative, it was just one of the things like, man, I wish I could be his friend. I feel the same way about Dave Chappelle too. Like, but Dave Chappelle already has his friends, and everybody wants to be Dave Chappelle's friend. And his friend's a little bit older than me, and I don't think he hangs out with people that are my age. I'm not saying that I'm 22 or anything, but I just feel
he's
an
elder statesman. He would have to choose you to be his friend.
Right. And I respect that brother's mind so much, right? To where, I just want to be in the loop, and they say that circle because they just do dope things, and just like, I just want to be there for the conversation. So yeah, that would be one.
Man, listen, you are the guy when it comes to hip hop, man. I've been playing this game with a couple of celebrities, man. And it brings me pleasure to play this with you because I know you're a hip hop head, and I know we're going to have fun.
I'm ready.
Those who have been watching and listening, you know the game, University of Dope. Unpopular opinions are welcome. You only have the opportunity, HeadKrack, to pass on one question, but I know you, and you don't ever shy away from a challenge. However, you get one opportunity to pass on a question.
I'm going to be the quarterback that runs with the ball all the way to the finish line. I will not pass the ball. I'm calling it now. I'm taking it all the way there to the goal line. Gentlemen,
University of Dope, HeadKrack, June Archer, HeadKrack. Most influential rap song of all time. Is it A, The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five? Is it B, Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang? C, Planet Rock, Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force? Or D, Sucker MCs by Run DMC?
All right. So I'm going to say that the most influential one is, and I know this is going to be unpopular with a lot of people, is going to be Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. Why? Because it was the first popular rap song ever made. The Message was a more poignant rap song that had a lot to say. But Rap is Delight, you hear people remaking that song. You even in 2021, you can't really go a whole month without even hearing it on accident somewhere. So I gotta rock with that one, man, because it was the one that really got the ball rolling. But shout out to the Furious Five, shout out to Duke Booty, who also helped write that song, who just passed away last year. And there was the first song, one of the first rap songs that really had something to say. The message, you know what I mean? Even when you think about the burning paper, blowing in the sand, and the headline reads, man destroys man. Like, that's vivid imagery. But you also remember when the chicken tastes like wood, and Rap is Delight. So I got to go with Rap is Delight.
All right, HeadKrack, I like it. You giving me the Nate Burleson breakdown, so I'm loving this. I'm loving this. You're stranded on a deserted island. Which album would you listen to? A, Black on Both Sides, Most Def. B, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. C, 3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul, or D, The Chronic by Dr. Dre?
This is easy, June. I'm going to go with C, De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising. And the reason why I say this is because it is a long album. You're on a deserted album, so you're going to need to laugh. All right, and you will definitely laugh.
Skits will make you laugh.
Yeah, like the skits is well put together. They was one of the first groups to ever have skits on an album, and there's so many just vibes on there that'll make you feel like you're high, even if you're not. If you listen to Dr. Dre, you're gonna want to get high and have no weed because you're on a deserted island. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill will make you wish you had somebody. Next thing you know, you're humping a coconut. And Most Def Black on both sides will make you want to go do a show somewhere, but you're on a deserted island. So De La Soul for the win.
If these 4 MCs were on the same track today, who would come out on top? A, LL Cool J, B, Rakim, C, KRS-One, or D, Big Daddy Kane?
Oh, this is a disrespectful one. Okay. Who would come out on top today? Oh, this is rough. June. I would have to say KRS-One.
All right.
And I say KRS-One because whether people know it or not, like KRS-One like still drops albums. He just came out with an album, I think, in the last 4 months. I listened to it. The production was dope. The lyrics was dope. And like sometimes like we go to the gym like all the time. And then you got times where you go to the gym like once or twice that month. Lyrically, KRS-One has stayed in the gym the whole time. I see Big Daddy Kane out there getting active again. LL Cool J, he keeps having these false starts with GOAT Part 2. I'm really looking forward to hearing that. And then you get to hear Rakim rap every blue moon. Last I heard him was on the Busta album. But KRS-One, like, he will drop a 20-song album on you for no reason every year. And it sounds like he's in pocket and, with his finger on the pulse of what's going on. So, yeah, I think KRS-One. Especially if he knew he was rapping with too, he would tailor his performance to who he was rapping with and just cook it.
If someone wanted to experience hip hop for the first time, what album would you give them? A, Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest. B, Enter the Wu-Tang Clan. C, Straight Outta Compton, NWA. Or D, Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim.
Okay, just for clarity, who is this person and what do they look like?
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. I would start with Tribe Called Quest, the Low End Theory. You got to ease him into it. He might respect the jazz on there. You know what I mean? So, you don't want to scare him away with Wu-Tang Clan, especially that torture skit. You know what I'm saying? So I would start with Tribe.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Say he's going to do what with a spike bat?
Greatest diss song of all time. Is it A, Hit 'Em Up, Tupac? B, Ether Nas? C, Take Over Jay-Z? Or D, No Vaseline, Ice Cube?
Woo! All right. I am going to have to say Ice Cube, No Vaseline, because he did all this weightlifting by himself. There was no one on the track with him, and he went at like 4 other people. Tupac literally told you that I'm gonna let my homies ride on y'all. You know what I'm saying? So he had help. Ether, dope record. Obviously, it helped him win the battle with Jay-Z. The Takeover was a great record too, but yeah, I gotta go with No Vaseline because it was just like, Cube was at the top of his game at that time.
Which song will most likely get you arrested? A, Knuck If You Buck, Crime Mob featuring Lil Scrappy. B, Move, Ludacris. C, Never Ever, Trillville featuring Little Scrappy and Little John. Or D, Annie Up the Remix, MOP featuring Buster, Teflon, and Remy Ma.
Easy. Annie Up remix, MOP featuring Busta Rhymes, Teflon, and Remy Ma.
Yeah, just get the bail money ready.
Yeah.
Best one-hit wonder from the following: A, Never Scared, Bone Crusher. B, My Neck and My Back, Kaya. C, This Is Why I'm Hot, Mims. Or D, Let's Get It, G-Dep.
Ooh, these are not fair. Let's see. Let me think. Outside of the club, and you think I'm up on. Damn, man. I'm gonna have to give it to my brother Bone Crusher. Never Scared. Because, you know, I have to say, the song grew on me. You know, like, because at first I didn't like it. I didn't like the energy. I was hosting clubs at the time. I'm like, yo, why do we want to go to the trunk, man? Come on, man. We gotta have a good time. But, you know, but then when you get to meet Bone Crusher, you know what I'm saying? And get to, like, you know, he's really a cool, nice dude. And he was just rocking the energy that, you know, that was going on at the time. And the song aged well.
Yeah.
You know, like My Neck and My Back, it's still a tough one to sing as a guy. And and Let's Get It is a dope record too. But Bone Crusher, Never Scared, you play that in certain places, the whole spot still going crazy.
Rappers that got killed on their own track: Monster, the victim was Kanye, murderer Nicki Minaj. Control, victim Big Sean, murderer Kendrick Lamar. Renegade, victim Jay-Z, murderer Eminem. Or Rampage, victim EPMD, murderer LL Cool J.
A lot of knowledge in there.
On their own track.
A lot of knowledge in there. I'm gonna have to say Control, because there was a lot more other like really dope MCs on that record too. You also had Jay Electronica on that song. And Kendrick Lamar was just in rare form. You know, whenever I listen to that song, I think of you know, Rocky IV when Apollo's traded, like, it's supposed to be an exhibition. Like, yo,
he blacked out.
Yo, Kendrick Lamar chose violence when he went to the studio that day.
Yeah, he definitely blacked out. Who is winning in a jailhouse brawl? Is it A, The Brat, B, Remy Ma, C, Young M.A., or D, Foxy Brown?
So, you know, before I met The Brat, I would have said The Brat, but by her own admittance, she will tell you that she's a lover and not a fighter, so that takes her out of the game there. Remy Ma, she's kind of like heavy, stout. She's from the Bronx. Young M.A., for obvious reasons, looks like they can throw as well take a punch. Foxy Brown might not even hear the commotion going on in the background. So I'm going to have to say, I'm going to go with Remy Ma. Like, she shot a chick over a purse.
Shout out to Remy.
She shot a chick over a purse. She said she didn't do it, but, you know. All right.
Best song dedicated to your moms. Is it Miss Jackson by Outkast? Is it Hey Mama, Kanye West? Is it All That I Got Is You, Ghostface? Or is it D, Dear Mama, Tupac?
Whoa, these questions aren't fair, man. See, man, like Miss Jackson wasn't even like a positive song about moms. It was about like spiteful baby moms. So I gotta take them out of that. Hey Mama is a good song, but it was only about his mom. I feel like personally I connected more with Ghostface's All That I Got Is You. You feel the pain on the track. I didn't know he had two brothers with muscular dystrophy. You know what I'm saying? It was so vivid. The way Ghost was rhyming, it took you there.
Yeah.
And in a way that, you know, Tupac, God bless him, you know, you saw what Pac was saying, but, you know, you didn't know the walls were blue in Ghostface house. You knew the walls were like sky blue with a dash of like cloud white. You know what I mean? Like he just painted a more vivid picture for me. I think he said, we'll wake up in the morning picking roaches out the cereal box. I felt that. You know what I mean? So Ghost got that.
Erase one person from hip hop history if you had to. Who would it be? Would it be A, Latifah?
Oh my God. B,
MC Lyte, C, Lauryn Hill, or D, Missy Elliott?
I hate this game. Okay. Oh, this is so tough. So if we erase them, their contributions never happened?
Correct.
Damn it, man. And I promised I wouldn't pass. I love Queen Latifah. I love MC Lyte. That's the homie. Lauryn Hill hasn't rapped for us in quite some time. Okay, I gotta take Lauryn Hill out of here. Because here's the thing. Right. If we in school, right, you can't just show up to class the first 6 weeks. You got to keep coming back.
Gotta keep coming back.
She gave us one hip hop album, and it wasn't even an entirely hip hop album. As a hip hop fan, I was upset that the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill had, I think, 2 songs with her rapping on it. It was Lost Ones, Doo Wop, That Thing. Everything else was R&B. And I needed Fuji's Lauryn just for my soul. I'm being selfish. I needed that.
Understood.
I didn't get Fuji's Lauryn. So she's a chick who dropped out of school as it relates to hip hop class. And even though she's still a wicked genius to this day, I would have to say Lauryn, because the other people continued to feed us. Light continued to do things. Latifah continues to do things. Missy Elliott, she'll sneak out at you and be on an Amazon commercial. They still doing stuff in the culture, and like Lauryn Hill show up to a concert 3 hours late.
Best hip hop soundtrack. Is it A, Get Rich or Die Trying, B, Above the Rim, C, 8 Mile, or D, Juice?
Juice. I used to listen to that soundtrack every day, as well as watch the movie on the days I didn't listen to the soundtrack. Like, I even know the songs that weren't singles. Shout out to Son of Berserk. What could be better, bitch? That was my joint.
Stay woke. Best politically conscious song. Is it A, Fight the Power, Public Enemy, B, F the Police, NWA, C, Hip Hop by Dead Press, or D, Umi Says with Mos Def?
Man, I truly love Umi Says by Mos Def. When I first got into radio, it was a song that I said, hey, once I get on the air, I'm going to play that song, and I'm just going to stare out the sky and like see what the city's like. You try to see what the city's thinking when I play it. Love that song. That's actually a better mom song than a political song, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna go with Fight the Power, because it still matters to this day. F the Police does too, but Fight the Power, it just applies to so many things, no matter what's going on. So yeah, PE got that one.
Best film with a rapper in it is A, Belly, B, Paid in Full, C, pick any Fast and Furious except the one with the whack Ja Rule, or D, Set It Off.
Yo, why did they throw Juice in here? I'm gonna have to say Paid in Full, because it's a sleeper hit and it's just a really good movie. And Cameron should have did more films.
I agree. Erase one from hip hop history. HeadKrack, who would it be? Would it be A, Curtis Blow, B, EPMD, C, Kumo D, or D, Slick Rick?
This is not fair. So without Curtis Blow, you don't get the Fat Boys, and then he wouldn't have also been in Crush Crew. Then you wouldn't get If I Rule the World, so we got to keep him. EPMD, one of the best duos in rap of all time, got to keep them. He also produced for Redman and them, so we got to keep them. Slick Rick is probably like one of my favorite rappers to this day. Unfortunately, I gotta go with Kumo D, and it hurts to say that because he's such a scientist when he raps.
We're coming down the stretch, so it's rapid fire now. You ready to go, HeadKrack?
Let's go.
Here we go. One gotta go. Is it J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, or Childish Gambino?
Childish Gambino.
Best Kanye West album. Is it Late Registration, 808 and Heartbreaks, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, or D, College Dropout?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Best Jay-Z album. Is it Blueprint, Reasonable Doubt, Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, or 444?
I will jump out the window and say the Blueprint.
Which crew would you choose as teammates on Family Feud? A, Dipset, B, Cash Money, C, G Unit, or D, Rough Riders?
I would go with Dipset.
A pimp just slapped you, HeadKrack. He takes your money. Who are you sending to get it back? A, E40, B, 50 Cent, C, Snoop Dogg, or D, Beanie Siegel?
I would go Beanie Siegel, because I feel like he's twirling a gun right now.
Best comeback in the rap game. Is it A, 2 Chainz, B, Meek Mill, C, Remy Ma, or D, Gucci Mane?
I'm gonna go with Gucci Mane.
What you sipping on, HeadKrack? Choose one from the following: A, Hennessy, B, Ciroc, C, Coke 45, or D, Douce?
That's gonna be Hennessy for me.
$75,000 or tickets to the Rock Nation brunch?
I'm gonna take that $75,000.
Erase one person from hip hop history. Who would it be? A, Swiss Beats, B, Dr. Dre, C, Pharrell, or D, Timbaland?
Woo! I hate this. I'm gonna have to go with Damn, Tim got a lot of bops. Fro got a lot of bops. I gotta go Swiss Beats, unfortunately.
Erase one person from hip hop history. You made it to the end. HeadKrack. Is it A, Nas, B, the Notorious B.I.G., C, Tupac, or D, Jay-Z?
All right. Sadly enough, I'm going to have to say Tupac.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's HeadKrack playing University of Dope. I'm June Archer. Nothing but fun. Unpopular opinions are welcome. HeadKrack, you did an amazing job, brother.
I feel like I have to wash my face now after that. Like, I feel really stressed out. Like, I feel like I killed people I knew. You know what I'm saying? They had to show up to their mama house to explain what happened. Like, yo, that was rough, but
it was
fun. I had a good time.
It's all in fun. We love all of these artists. Please don't get it twisted.
HeadKrack.
Let me ask you this, man. What is the best piece of advice that you've been given that you could share with someone today who's going through something, whether it's the pandemic or losing someone, trying to pay their car note, trying to put their kids through school, that allowed you to walk in your dopeness?
The crazy thing is, like, I didn't really get a lot of advice growing up. I just watched and observed and just looked at examples around me. And I know a lot of times we feel like the odds are stacked against us and things ain't working out, but you know, everything's kind of like a pendulum. Like, it'll be bad for a minute, then it'll swing back. And even people that you think are happy all the time, they ain't happy all the time. They had their little dark moments too, you know, myself included. So just know that even if you feel like, man, like the universe been on your head for about a year, it can't be bad forever, and it has to turn around, and you got to just figure out what your part is, and sometimes turning that around, and don't be discouraged, you know. So just keep pushing through and just weather them storms and get through it, and just watch other people who have been in the situation that you've been in, and just, you know, use that as an example. It's kind of like, you know, when you speed on a highway and there's a car going faster than you, just go a little bit slower than them so they get the ticket.
Music is the soundtrack to our lives, HeadKrack. For you, what song best represents your journey up to this point, or which artist embodies your journey that when you put it on, you get in your zone, or it puts you or takes you somewhere when you need to get to that place because you may have come out of a bad day or things just aren't going right in those moments?
I gotta say, and if I could cheat and say two songs, Immortal by Kid Cudi, because it's just such a powerful record. You know, you talk about I'm living my life as if I got powers, and tonight I feel immortal. And you know, and we all got powers. So I really love that record. It always puts me in a good headspace when I hear it. And then also Shay Shay La Ghost by Ghostface Killer, because they took one of my favorite records from Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah band and freaked it. And every time I would hear the lady on the song sing, it reminds me of my mom. And so like when I hear that song, it just makes me think of my mom, and it just puts me in a good mood because it's just an upbeat, fun party song.
Man, you just gave me a smile that as you mentioned your mom. Is it something that your mom instilled in you that you use today, or when you wake up, you make sure that you represent the brand properly as HeadKrack?
I mean, I just always give people a fair shake. You know what I mean? Like, my mom was one of them people who would always give people a chance to not only show you who they are, but also change who they are. Because, you know, we're not the same people leaving as we are coming in. And, you know, no matter like whether you from the highest to the high or the lowest to the low, my mom will rock with you regardless, because like, hey, whatever you were up to this point, if you good, we keep it good. If you bad, like, you know, what's going on? Like, did someone not love you? You know, like, how can I, you know, what could I instill in you or pour into you that can maybe turn things around? Or, you know, and my mom just always had that energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, no matter who I bought by the house, my friends, like, she rocked, you know, all my friends, even people that she knew were knuckleheads, you know, like, yeah, you know, what's not going on at your house to where, like, you know, you are how you are, and how can we, you know, and how can I be of assistance? So she always, you know, would try to find the best qualities in people. And I definitely do that as well. Because even when I know people sometimes ain't shit, you know, but why aren't you shit? How did we get here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, how could we work on this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always look at things with the strongest level of optimism, and I catch a lot of flack for it. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I am who I am. I'm not going to change it. You know what I'm saying? And I can be aware. Like, it's one thing to be aware and not act on everything that you're aware of. I find power in just Sitting here thinking you don't know what you don't know what I know.
Man,
and just
dope.
you just gotta play it out,
That's dope. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. My guy HeadKrack. Give people a fair shake. No matter how low or high the pendulum swings, always understand there's something greater for you. And something greater for you could be in the places you don't really expect it. So along this journey, look out for the benchmarks, look out for the road signs of people who can change your life, change your trajectory, but also put in the work, put in those 10,000 hours that will allow you to master your craft and learn and just give you the opportunity to live your dreams and learn by experience as much as you can, read as much as you can. That's what HeadKrack shared with us today. HeadKrack, where can we follow you? Tell us what's going on next with you, and where can we watch you?
All right. Well, you listen, I'm so easy to follow, man. Tap in with me on like wherever you streaming your music from. I have a project out right now called Action Park. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all that good stuff. Also, I have a podcast called HeadKrack After Hours where I talk about my ayahuasca experience. That's available wherever you're getting your podcast from. New episodes are coming soon. Also, tap into the YouTube channel where some of these interviews I'll be doing be going up. And tap into the Morning Hustle Show Monday through Friday. You can download the app if we ain't on in your city, and also catch me on Dish Nation. I'm sitting among some dope people on that show who you might think they're fun to watch and look at. So tap in there as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is HeadKrack. I am June Archer. This is the Winner Circle on thisis50.com. Motivate you. Like it, love it, share it. And when you have the opportunity, tell somebody you love them. It may be the last time you have the opportunity to do so. Thank y'all for tuning in.
I love you, bro.
Love you too, brother. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Much love. June, that was fun, my G.